All right, let's talk about Dr. Disrespect. Coming from PC Gamer, Dr. Disrespect is selling NFT beta access to his game that does not exist yet. This is an interesting thing to talk about because, from my perspective, as far as NFTs go and gaming go, I don't think they go hand in hand. As a gamer, I'm not really hot on the whole idea of NFTs being integrated into a majority of titles. I think there's some outliers, right? Magic the Gathering Arena would be one where I'd be like, NFTs would probably fit in there, right? Collectible card games. I think that even like an RPG, potentially like an MMORPG, like something like World of Warcraft, where the NFTs are tied to equipment and armor, and it allows for the players, if they want to participate in that manner, to potentially play to earn, could be cool. But I think by and large, NFT implementation feels more like microtransactions and things that don't matter by them for the most part. And I don't think that this is any different because, look, the game doesn't even seem like it's going to be a real thing. And it's just an NFT that will basically allow you founders access. I don't know. Dr. Disrespect is selling NFT beta access to his game that does not exist yet. The initial round of 10,000 Founders Access Passes will sell for $50 each. In December of 2021, Dr. Disrespect, aka Guy Beam, co-founded a new game studio called Midnight Society with former Call of Duty creative strategist Robert Bowling and Halo 5 multiplayer designer Quinn Del Hoyo. There we go. Awesome team, by the way, and I don't want to demean that at all. Like, as far as what the potential is for this studio, it seems really good. You're talking about basically just all the big names, a creative strategist from Call of Duty, a multiplayer designer from Halo 5, unfortunately. I wish it was something different, but Halo 5 was pretty good, I guess. It came after Halo 4, which is terrible as far as multiplayer goes, but what exactly the studio is making hasn't been revealed yet, beyond the promise that it will be the, quote, most community-focused online PvP multiplayer experience the world has ever seen, end quote. But a new blog post has shed more light on the community-focused aspect, which will include NFT sales. Quote, as we focus on building the best new PvP multiplayer first-person shooter, we're looking to leverage the collective strength of our Day Zero community to go hands-on during crucial early development milestones of the project, Midnight Society studio head Robert Bowling explained. This means building an infrastructure that allows the active participants of our community to experience environments, weapons, movement, and other core tenets of the gameplay at a stage where their feedback, input, and guidance can be incorporated. Most studios rely on various forms of beta testing for this sort of thing, but Midnight Society is instead releasing a Founders Access Pass that will enable holders to play early builds, access Discord channels, and vote on key design decisions. Founders Access Pass also will have the ability to mint a unique tradable visor design, procedurally generated and with different, presumably random levels of rarity. It is not clear whether these designs will actually appear in the game. However, the post says only that the design, quote, acts as your identity within the Midnight Society and can be used as your verified avatar in and outside the community, end quote. That's a picture. That's a cool picture. The Founders Access Pass will be restricted to a select group of 10,000 community members who will have an opportunity to spend $50 to get one. There will be other series of passes in the future, however, created using environmentally friendly NFT technology, and each will be unique to them. This is disappointing when this gets played out, by the way, guys. So I'm not talking about this in particular, as far as like what they're doing. The specific wording that we need to combat on a lot of this stuff is the environmentally friendly NFT portion here. Look, you need to take into account that the biggest push towards environmentally friendly or energy production is going to come from the Bitcoin mining industry because it is directly incentivized to do that. The idea that proof of stake is the only environmentally friendly thing going on here within cryptocurrency is a false narrative that needs to be addressed every single time it comes up, especially when it's in public articles like this, like PC Gamer. And this is not how you do journalism either, because we aren't talking about the difference between proof of stake and proof of work right now. What we are specifically talking about is an NFT release from Dr. Disrespect. So adding in basically influenced, narrative-driven terms for something that they clearly are not even discussing in the article needs to be addressed. And so I'm not going to let that go. We're not going to let that pass. And as far as environmentally friendly cryptocurrencies and the progress into renewable energy, it will be driven by Bitcoin mining and mining in general. See, what happens here is basically whatever society can learn to control and increase their power consumption usually ends up being a more productive society and a more powerful society. The key that we have to figure out here is unlocking the ability to have a very good balance between power usage and impacts not only on the environment, but impacts economically as well. And these are things that need to be addressed, and people need to think about them properly with facts, not just this whole idea of we're just going to throw it in here so we influence people to think in this manner. After a 30-day lockdown period, purchasers will be free to sell their passes through open marketplaces like OpenSea. So that's interesting. So initially, it sounds like it might be launched somewhere other than OpenSea, but then you'll be able to purchase it and sell it through OpenSea. Now, I do want to say, I actually support this. I support this over other NFT integrations into gaming. Why would I support this and not other NFT integrations into gaming? What makes this okay, in my point of view, is essentially what we're talking about is an early access purchase that is tied to an NFT. If you want to go out and purchase it and then you want to participate in the community, you have the ability to do it. However, from the developer's perspective, they can add on a creator tax, the 1 to 10% that you can add on like OpenSea. And if somebody decides to resell that to somebody else to give them access and it goes up to an inflated price, then the developer is going to get additional funding for their project. So as far as fundraising goes, this is no different than Kickstarter. The only difference is really at all is that it's resaleable by the user, which is really kind of better than Kickstarter because at this point it's putting more power in control into the hands of the individual. So as far as like what this is, it's basically Kickstarter using NFTs. And the only difference there is that you have more control to the individual. So I'm down with it. I think it's great. Access to the Founder Pass and future series will not be the first to come, first serve. Oh, it will not be first come, first serve. Instead, fans will have to apply for the privilege of giving Midnight Society their money. The Founders Access Pass application process is live now, and applicants will be judged on criteria including, but not limited to, when you join the Midnight Society community, how active you've been in the community, how active of a gamer or creator or developer you are in general. That's going to be a little EPeen, right? Like Tim the Tap Man, like, you know what I mean? Like all the big streamers are going to get right in. Your vision of what makes a good PvP shooter. Bowling said that none of this is meant to be exclusionary, and people who want to play Midnight Society's game with a conventional account will be fully free to do so. That's good. Furthermore, players who have no understanding or interest in decentralization will still be able to take advantage of its benefits. If at some point in the future they decide to recoup their investment by selling some of their in-game stuff. So then that's my question, and that's where I kind of get a little iffy. It sounds like they are going to have in-game NFTs, and that you will be able to resell them on the platform, which is going to be a form of microtransactions. And in this style of a first-person shooter PvP game, I'm not sure I agree with it, unless, of course, very specifically, that it is cosmetic only at the very least. Because we track all entitlements of the centralized account, we can easily transfer ownership of all your items to you, and you are free to sell them from outside the Midnight Society ecosystem, Bowling said, which honestly makes me wonder why all this NFT rigmarole is necessary in the first place. Midnight Society is already working on the next round of passes, according to the FAQ on the Founders Pass application page. We are in the process of designing a meta economy layer for Midnight Society that will form the core of industry pass holders. It says, quote, founders will have a say in how it evolves. Industry pass holders, also known as the Eyes, will form guilds that run all in the in-universe manufacturing of weapons, mercenaries, and cosmetics used by claws in the Midnight Society. This is pretty cool. What I will say, we could go through all of this, but we know that Valve banned all NFT games, so they won't be going there, but they'll be on Epic, more than likely, something like that, or their own launcher. There are some negative responses, it says, as well on Reddit, which is to be expected within the gaming community. And one of those would be, quote, what happened to the revolutionary game-changing experience, Redditor, the one Apple guy wrote. To be quite honest, I couldn't give two poops about cosmetic NFTs, but why is it the first thing revealed about the game? It just reeks. Consumers should be sold on the game for its gameplay, not profitability. And I think that that's a fair point. I will say what it is, at least I think the reason why it would initially be, talking about NFTs is because they're trying to set up this beta access via NFTs. So what do I think? The beta access via NFTs, bomb. I think that's cool. That's basically just a more decentralized form of Kickstarter. I think if you're going to do a Kickstarter in any form, migrating over to NFTs from a centralized platform like Kickstarter is awesome. Should you have cosmetic NFT items? If they're cosmetic only, I guess we could have a discussion over that. But for a first-person competitive shooter, by no means should there be any NFTs tied to any in-game items that provide an advantage to any of the players within the game. Also, typically what this does end up doing, there are sometimes specific advantages just from cosmetic items in previous games that have caused problems. And if you are focused on creating cosmetic items very quickly to monetize your game, you can end up with glitches that make some cosmetic items an advantage to other players. And if you lose sight of the gameplay to create in-game cosmetic items for profit, then you can end up in a position where you just ruin the gameplay with said cosmetic items. And this is just coming from somebody that played a lot of video games for a lot of time, and like how I've seen it and what my perspective is on it. From the cryptocurrency space perspective right now, clearly you should go apply. Because clearly, if you don't even want to play the game, it doesn't matter. This is not financial advice, but it's pretty clear to me that you're going to be able to resell this access and it's going to be worth quite a bit. It's Dr. Disrespect. So dropping $50 on the access, if you get it, and then and getting it minted, there is profit potential there. I'm pretty sure. Not financial advice. Just what I'm thinking in the back of my head is, personally, I'm going to go apply and try to purchase one because I think it's going to be worth money. And even after all the beta access and stuff, it could still, because it's one of the original NFTs, could end up still being worth money later on. I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Morning Show every Monday through Friday, 7:45 a.m. Pacific and 10:45 a.m. Eastern Time. You can check out more clips here, or if you're interested in checking out the entire live show, you can check that out down here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday.